Hey there guys, thanks for joining us for another Kickstarter preview. Today we're having a look at Vae Victis. This is from 2 Ton Tomatoes and the designer is Geordie Samrod. This is coming to Kickstarter soon, so we're going to do a little preview for you so you can see what the game is like and how it flows, what decisions you have to make, all that good stuff. Obviously, keep in mind this is a prototype copy, so if you want to see what the game's components are definitely going to look like, you can follow the link in the description. That'll take you to the Kickstarter and you can have a look. Alright, so Vae Victis apparently stands for Woe to the Vanquished or Woe to the Conquered. It means that those defeated are entirely at the mercy of their conquerors and should not expect or request leniency. Well, there you go. You learn something new every day. What we are doing, in fact, we are Roman senators, consuls, whatever you like to call us. We live here in Rome, and there are barbarian hordes all around us from Hispania, Gallia, Germania, Britannia, advancing on Rome. We also have to keep the people happy by wealth and sanitation and well, they are revolting, but that's not what that is. That's them, like, what is it called? What is it?
Rebelling.
Rebelling, that's it. I knew, I could hear the sounds, I just couldn't remember the name.
Keep them from rebelling.
Yes. So those are those tracks over there. These are these tracks over here. The way this game works is, it starts with the first person to complete their secret goals. So these are my goals. So you need to get the senator's influence in the forum, and you need to stop these 2 wars. That's for me. Everyone has a different one. There's a few others that we're not using. We're obviously randomly handed them out, so everyone has a different one. First thing you got to do is roll the fate dice. Pass the fate dice over, Carl. They have the different wars, so you got the different wars over there, and these tracks over here, except for the rebellion track. So what you do is you roll these 3 dice, choose one of them not to do. So for example, I might say, for example, I might be going after to try to stop the Red Hispanic War, so I might discard that, but then I'll have to move these 2 down. So Britannia will move closer to Rome, and the wealth track will move closer to bankruptcy. Now, whenever one of these armies march into Rome, they have sacked Rome, and we will lose. If, depending on how many players are playing, so in a 3-player, 4-player, 5-player, or 6-player, those are how far down they go. If ever one of these tracks meet that area, we lose. We'll become bankrupt. We've become cesspools. The rotten peasants are rebelling against us. It's all bad. But this one is where we can actually sneak a win, because in this deck over here, we have some influence cards. It's 2 per player, and you can play with a variant. So these ones, I'll explain what they do in a minute, but they're all loyalty cards except for this one, which is the traitor card, as you can see, with a skull with a sword sticking through it. This is a variant. You don't have to play with this, and if you're playing with more players, you can add another traitor card to the deck. But what this means is, if you have this card in your hand at the time one of those armies sack Rome, instead of everyone losing, you win and everyone else loses. That's what that does. These ones allow you to, on your turn, discard them to discard an extra dice so that you don't have to pay for it. You can discard more dice by paying money, but money is very tight. You start with 8, and you can never go above 8, but getting more money can cost the country a lot of hassle, if you like. Because once you've done the fate dice, you can then come over here to the support phase. There are 3 actions you can take. You can do one action once, and you can push a lot for the second one. So for example, the limiters action over here, you can push one of these armies back 2 spaces, or 3 different armies 1 space each. So for example, I could push that one and that one and that one back, you know, kind of secretly going for my goal, but also maybe helping someone else, or putting a bluff in so that they don't know. Because they might, on their turn, with the fate dice, might push my one back if they know what I'm doing. Now, that was my first action. As a second action, I could do that action again, and I could do it differently. For example, I might go push this green up too. Then I have to pay the mercenaries because I've pushed all the soldiers hard. I roll these. If I roll any green dice, because I only pushed the green up, if I'd done one of each, that would have been worse. But I only pushed the green up, which means the health has to come down 1, because I've rolled 1 for each one of these. But obviously this is another way you can lose. This one here allows you to take them half the money in the treasury, and then you have to move the wealth track down. Or you can take all the money in the treasury, and then you have to do a financial crisis, where you roll the dice. If you roll any 5s and 6s, which is the rats and the money, those tracks go down. So that's pretty bad. This one here, this is where you help the country out. So you can push one of these tracks up one, and if you do it a second time, and it doesn't have to be the same track, you can 2 money from the reserve. Once you've done these phases, you can then move down to this phase, which is the influence phase. Here you can get an influence card by paying a money to the treasury, or you can get 2 by paying 2 money to the treasury. Here you can get a forum card, or paying 2 money to get 2 forum cards. The forum cards do various things. They're not very clear. We're looking at them. Keep in mind this is a prototype, but I have a nice little cheat sheet here which tells me everything they do. And they do various things. You know, you can. I'm just gonna quickly pick this up. I'll have to shuffle. Ah! Don't watch that. Don't look at that. I'll have to shuffle these up again. But they do various things. Like, for example, maybe take that card, help give you some more gold, stop people from placing things, stuff like that. Give those a shuffle for me, Alex. And then this one here is finally is the forum area. This is where you can place senators into the forum. So, for example, if you need to have majority green, you can place 1 for 1 money or 2 for 2 money, or you can remove someone else's for 1 money. As soon as a player has completed both these objectives, they flip them on the table and go, Vae Victis, and win. And that's it. That's how the game goes. So we're going to get started, and we'll be back in a short while to show you some gameplay. See you in a minute. Okay, so you join us for the gameplay for Vae Victis. We've had a few rounds already. As you can see, this is how the war tracks are moving. Hispania is being pushed back. Gallia has been pushed back. Britannia has been pushed back. And Germania has been pushed back. Although, if I remember correctly, Germania made it all the way down to there, which was pretty scary. Over here in Rome itself, the tracks are like this. The wealth has been dropping pretty steadily. Sanitation and I can't remember what this one is. Rebellion, that's what it was. The Rebellion track has moved down a bit. Alright, so Carla is the first player because she has the TARDIS. So first thing she has to do at the beginning of the turn is the fate phase. That's where you roll the 3 dice, see what the fates have in store. Alright, so looks like
so
you're going to choose one of those to discard.
She won't give up her horse. So
yeah, the Britannians I feel like won't be but the Gallias are
horse. It's not a horse.
I don't.
Gallia, you know, is can go backward.
What, you need to discard one?
Sorry, I'm going to discard that one. So Gallia,
And then
the wealth is going down again. Oh, so close. We're playing a 3-player game, so it goes to there and different.
What are you doing?
Okay, so then it's my.
So that was your fate phase, which you've done. You could have obviously spent money to not take all the dice and discard more. I like to point out I've been the only one doing that. Hence the reason the treasury is so full.
No
So now
even taken it.
you do one of the support actions. So you can either do Limitus, Aeraria, or that one. I'm not going to say all these Latin names. So you can either push back the war, take money out of the treasury, or push up the Roman bits.
Yeah, that stuff.
I am going. Oh gosh.
When a war has been conquered, it can no longer be pushed back down. So, for example, when your precious Britannians, if it reaches the top there, it can no longer come back down again.
I think I'm going to do the Limitus, and I'm going to move these guys up too.
2. Right, so that was the first action you've done there. You have an optional second action, which you can do, to do the Limitus again. But if you do that, you have to roll for mercenaries.
Yeah.
And at the moment, the mercenaries are very close to pushing us to death. So, is that you done then, yeah? Okay, so that was your support phase done? You done?
So I'm going to...
the influence phase.
My influence phase, I am going to do 2 actions here. I'll pay 2. I'll take that away and add that.
Her things to make them all even.
Alright, so you did that twice, didn't you? Alright, and that's basically your round done. So over to Alex for his fate phase.
Okay.
That's pretty good on the Hispania side, my boy.
Why?
So you can discard one of those. So discard one of those immediately. Now you can pay more coins to discard the others.
How many?
1 per dice. So Alex has been moving up the red one,
Do you
Hispania.
get to re-roll?
No. So I feel like he's got Hispania on his card. So you're just spending 2 dice, 2 money if you want to.
Okay, so there you go.
So they go into the treasury. How much money we got, you know? 3, 9. So those 4 actually not supposed to be there. 9 is the most money we can have in the treasury because we're playing the easy
Okay.
level.
And then I'm going to do limiters. Yeah, and I'm going to move this up too.
Are you going to do it again? If you do it again, you can get them right to the top, but then you have to roll for mercenaries.
Yeah, why not?
Oh!
Wait, what am I sorry?
So if you roll if you do an action a second time, you have to roll for mercenaries. If you roll red on any of those 3 dice like you did over there, keep it in mind he just rolled triple red. What's the chances he can do it again? If you roll any reds, it goes to there, and you have to discard. I think that's 2 cards.
I haven't got any cards.
That's fine. Then you don't have to do it. If you roll 2 reds, we lose.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
Alright, let's see. This is my boy. Push your luck. Oh! Okay, so you rolled 1 red. That means they go over there. But you have to discard 2 cards now. Obviously, you don't have any. And
Yes, I want to discard my winning card.
that includes the blue card, the influence cards as well.
Okay.
Alright, so you've done your action there. And now you get to influence this. I bet I know what you're going to do.
How much is it to take away?
1 to take away or 1 to add. And you can do it once or twice.
Okay. So,
You're spending 2, so you're doing the action twice.
Mom, you can take that.
Ah, okay.
Don't mess with my green.
Alright, so that's the end of your turn. So now it goes over to me. I just want to remind folks what my objectives are. So these are the wars I would like to win. And these are the senators I would like to be governing in the Curia. So this is what's happening and what I'm going for. Look at this. This is so hard. Right, let's roll some fate. See what the fates have in store for moi. Of course. So...
Don't get skilled. Don't get the poverty thingy.
Alright, so I know Carla's after green, so I'm not going to discard that. But I'm going to discard this blue, and I'm going to pay 1 gold to discard that mouse. Because the sanitation, if it goes down by 1, it has to move either that track or that track down. And that one, if I move that one has to do the same thing again. And we can't move this one, because then we die. So, I'm not going to do that.
No one's taken all the treasure. It's
No.
like a jackpot.
But if you take the treasure, then we'll die.
Do.
Yeah, because it moves down the wealth track by 1.
What we need to do is do
Yeah,
this.
which is what think I'm going to do now. I have to do it because...
Do it.
Alright, so the sanitation track, I'm going to move it up once. And then if you do it a second time, and you do any of them, but I'm going to do this one again, and you ignore the symbols underneath, you get 2 money from the reserve. Which you can never go above 8 money. So that's what I've done there. And then over here... I'm going to spend 1 and I'm going to take a forum card.
Okay.
So that's what the forum card looks. That's the name. That's the ability. I have no idea what this does. But luckily, we have a little sheet. So I want a quick look what this is. Ah, that's pretty decent. See if you can figure it out. I'm going to hold it there. So it tells you when you can play it, who you play it on, and what the effect is. Right, Carlo, back over to you. Where's the bones? Roll them fate.
Okay.
My God, is that 2 money?
Yes.
You have to discard it.
Okay, well, I'll discard that one. No. Yes,
That's
that one.
instantly useless. That red one.
Which means that this goes down by 1. You can't move down the Hispania. Ugh,
Alright,
it's
so
rubbish.
just to show, obviously this one here, because the Hispanic War has been won, if you don't choose to discard that, you have to pay 1 gold to the treasury full, so it gets discarded. Alright, so you've done the fate phase already, yeah? So now we're on to your influence phase, or support phase rather.
Right, so I'll do that, and I'll... Oof. But if I move that up...
No.
No, you ignore the symbols.
Okay.
So 1, and if you do it a second time, you get 2 money from...
Oof. But if I do that, then I have to push one other
No,
down.
you ignore the symbols.
Oh, right. See.
So you get 2 money.
Thank you.
Okay.
Does that not come from the treasury?
No, it comes from the reserve.
Mom, you do the next one.
Okay, so that's done. This one, I'm gonna pay 2.
That goes to the treasury, but the treasury is full. Oh, for the love of God.
Okay.
Alex is going to get rid of those.
You bet.
Alright, Alex. Roll the fate.
Okay. Ooh.
So we've got 2 sanitation and a Britannia army.
So I'm going to discard one of these, so this goes down 1 or no.
Which means you have to move another one down. Which means that one has to move another one down. Which means you have to discard a coin.
Rather not.
Discard a card.
Don't have any.
Okay.
Okay.
That was-
and
and
this
then-
goes down.
Yep.
Okay. And then, alright, I'm going to use the limiters, and I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to use it again.
Okay.
And now if I roll any Gallia, I have to...
Move the wealth down. But you should be good.
And I'm good.
No, you're good, yeah.
Okay. And then I'm going to spend 2.
I got a feeling he's going to win, yeah.
I'm going to put that away, put
Yeah.
that on there, and have one.
So, I knew it. So reveal your cards. So bring them over here so I can see them.
Okay.
So he had to have the Hispania War and the Gallia War 1, which both of them are. And in the Curia, he needs to have majority in green, which he does. In fact, he just to make sure, just to rub it in our noses, he put an extra 1 down. And there you go. You have won. You have won Vae Victis and crushed your foes and become the new consul of Rome.
I am the new Caesar.
Well done.
Haha.
Okay, so that is a play of Vae Victis. Obviously not the full game, as we only came in halfway through the game. Very quick semi-cooperative game of decline and treachery, as it says in the box, from 2 Ton Tomatoes. This goes on Kickstarter soon. I can't remember exactly the date, but I will put a notification right there. And in the description below, I will put a link straight to the Kickstarter. So if you like it and want to support 2 Ton Tomatoes, that'll take you straight to the Kickstarter, and you can see what pledges they got, what stretch goals they got, and what support you can give them. Because as with all games on Kickstarter, the guys would love your support and to fund their game and their dreams and make everything come true. Woohoo! We are going to move on from here. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give us a like and a subscribe. See you guys later. Thanks for playing, guys.
Bye.
Bye.